Okay, first thing I want to do is, and I'll send you they've made my 191 disk, they've made my 191 disk shareable. So you will have write access to my 191 disk. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put some Rex exec there. Rex executable programs are called Rex execs. They're called Rex execs. So I'm going to I found some pretty simple and some complicated. Now I got to work on the complicated one because they have some arguments that you have to input, and I haven't been able to get those to work yet. I will. I got the factorial one working. I'll show that to you. Got that one working. It was just a syntax thing. I had a space where I shouldn't have a space. But I've got some simple Rex code. So what you're going to do is you're going to link to my 191 disk, and you're going to make it one of your disks. So whatever. And you're going to use a command called ACC, which means access. And then you're going to set a mode. So we can all use the mode, say P, whatever mode's not being used, but we need to use the same one. And I'll send you the syntax to link to my 191 disk. And then that disk will be your disk. And you can run the files off of my disk, but you just can't edit them. Now, you can copy them to your 191 disk and edit them. But for the time being, we don't need to do that. I just want to get you to run them and understand syntax. So one of the things I'm going to show you how to do is, am I sharing the screen? Yeah, here we go. You should be able to see my screen now. Email. So can you guys see this? Give me a raised hand, not a chat entry, a raised hand if you can see the VM screen now. Give me a raised hand. Okay. Good. If Vappy can see it, I'm assuming everybody else can see it. Some of you are coming in on dial-up. You're not gonna be able to see anything, but this is recorded, so. Okay, so first thing I want to do is show you how to transfer files. And it's really easy. You can transfer files from your PC to your VM box. And you can do this in either ZOS or VM, but you do it different ways. So you got to be at the command line, which is where I am. Let's clear the screen. I may be disconnected. Oh. I'm running VM. So I'm in the VM command line. I'm going to go to now. You do it, you guys that are on the Mac, there are instructions on how to transfer files on the Mac. You don't have to transfer files. I'm going to transfer them for you. But in case you want to know how files are transferred, you can do it. And I just saw the instructions for the Mac. I don't have a Mac, so I can't test them. I need to buy myself another Mac too. But I better get one pretty soon before the money runs out. But make sure I'm still talking. Yeah, my microphone seems to be picking up. Okay. You say, what I do? You say transfer, send to host, right? And then you browse your box. I've got these in a directory in the 390 called Rex. So that's what it's named. Okay, and this is what I'm going to call it on the VM side. So to the left is the PC side, but I need to say what I'm going to call it and where it's going to live. So I'm going to name it assign because it's an assignment. And I have to say what type of file it is. It's an exec file. I'm going to put it on mode A, and that should do it. Now, if I do a file L, star space star, A, I should see it. Okay. So let's look at this file and see what it does. I'm going to bring it up in edit mode. Okay. So it's a simple file. The top command has to be a comment. I used to think it had to say Rex in it, but I don't know. Now I see some that don't say Rex, but matter of fact, the Factorial one didn't say Rex. But you might just want to put Rex in the command, in the comment top line, just to make sure. But that's what identifies for the Rex processor, or the Rex interpreter rather, that it is a Rex file to be interpreted. And so I'm assigning values. So I'm assigning the value of 2 plus 3, and these are real simple files. And what you're going to do is you're going to run these files, and then you're going to explain to me what each one of them does. 4 or 5 simple files, and then we're going to do some more sophisticated stuff. But I just want you to get a feel for get your feet wet, as it were. So I'm going to say the print command is say in Rex, and I'm going to assign a value of 2 plus 3, and say A is the result of 2 plus 3, and that's going to be a value, whatever the value A is. Now B is going to be A times 2, and then you're going to say what B is. Hold on a second, please. Hey, Van. Yeah, I'm teaching the class. Is everything okay? Yeah, I'll call you as soon as it's over, okay? Yeah, bye. Sorry, certain people call, you want to make sure everything's okay. So let's run this. And always, when you edit a file, the exit command to write it and save it is 5. Okay. Now I'm gonna escape out of file edit mode, and I'm just gonna say assign. And so it gives me some language, and then it says the 5 is the result of 2 plus 3. And so let's go in there and change this. So I'm going to say X edit assign. Let's use the whole thing. X edit assign. It's an exec, and it's on my A mode. There it is. I'm going to insert. And I'm going to say A equals, let's say 5 plus 3, just to change it. All right. And I'm going to say file. Then now I'm going to run it to save the file name. And you can see that it changes. So let's do another one. Anybody have any questions about that process? We're going to copy over a couple more. Okay, we're going to copy over a couple more. Let's say transfer, send to host. And I actually may get you to transfer some files because you got the video, so you should know how to do it. Which one of these are, let's look at pull. Let's look at pull. And I'm just gonna call it pull over here, but not .txt. VM doesn't understand that syntax. And it's an exec, and it's in mode A. Again, my mode A is accessible to you to view. And you can copy files from it. Let's do a file L, file list. I'm gonna type the file list, **** A. You guys are really learning some VM. Let's go in here and again, as I say, these guys are gonna be here. I was at the thing, and again, I apologize, Baffy, for not being able to come to Greensboro. I should have sent you an email, but I was in a bit of a rush. There was a really good presentation. First of all, the A&T folks did great. And I got on people at the thing. The industry was there. I said, I'm tired of you people going around saying that you can't find undergraduates that know mainframe. We're in Greensboro, North Carolina, on the corner of Benbow and Market Street. We're not hiding. We teach mainframe. And I'm hearing you guys walking up and down the hall. We can't find mainframe people. We can't find mainframe. Yes, you can. They may just not look the way you want them to look, but I can't help that. But they can do the work. They can do the work. And we've got over 150 of them that prove they can do the work. If you want proof points, we got over close to 200 proof points. So, this nonsense about you can't find them. You might not like where they are, right? You might not want to come to A&T to hire them. But if you need, either you need the skills or you don't. And this nonsense has got to stop because I'm sick of it. I've been seeing it. I've been dealing with it for 12 years, and they act like we're invisible. They act like we're invisible. I was in there with the credit union people. They always talk, we placed it. Well, I'm not even gonna get that. I'm not gonna waste your time for that. We can talk about this offline. Anyway, so this shows you how to pull. And those of you, I think many of you have done the Java class. There's a thing called scanner that reads in input. So pull does that in Rex, but it does it a lot simpler. And so let's look at the syntax. Program to multiply. I didn't write this. I just copied it. Multiply two numbers. Please enter your first number. Pull number one. Thank you. Now enter your second number. Number two. Well done. Now num1 times num2 equals num1 times num2. Simple. So we're going to say file. We're going to exit from this. And we're going to say pull. Let's say 100. Let's say 2. Got it. Simple, right? Simple, right? Now, the plot's going to thicken real quick because let's look at the factorial one we did. Okay, let's look at the factorial one we did. So I'm going to do file L again, file list A. And what I call the factorial one. So yeah, this is one that I can't get running, right? And so you can see that Redskin is capable of doing some pretty impressive stuff. So what does this one do? Oh, this one does exchange rates. So you put in your British pound and you put in your dollar. Those are the default. Dollar and the pound are the default, and the default amount is 1. I've had some problems with this one because and I got these come from Mike Calishaw, right? So that's that one, and I'm gonna get it to work just like I got the other one to work. We're gonna look at the other one, Rex Web. Was that Rex Web that we saw? That's I named the file the wrong thing. There's one that he has that and actually that one may have worked. Let me pull that one over. See if we can get it to work. Because that's a very interesting file. It pulls some URL from the web. Let's say file, and let's escape from this. And we'll transfer. We'll send the host. Now this is in a different directory, I think. Yeah, this is not in that directory. This is in the 340 directory. And yeah, so I'm gonna call it web Rex so I don't have to delete the other one. Exec repetition helps you understand what's going on. Exec is the file type. A is the mode that I'm sending it to. File L. See, if you see this stuff enough times, it starts to make sense to you. Star space star A. And VM is a lot simpler than ZOS. Let's look at WebRex. Okay, so yeah, so this retrieves data associated with the URL. And I got to make sure I put in the right I got to make sure I put in the right arguments. But I'm just going to try something. And this is probably not going to work. That's okay. Probably not going to work. I'm put in web rex. Right. I think I need something different than that. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, I'll find out what's going on with that one. Now let's look at again, all of these are on my A mode, and you will have access to them with the link command. Rexprog, I finally got that one to work. So all this does is just goes through factorial from 1 to 5, right? And it calculates the factorial of what is the number, like 2 times 1. Well, factorial of 3 is 3 times 1 plus 3 times 2 times 1 times 1 times 1. Yeah, that's factorial of 3, etc. And it has a lot of utility in mathematics. And so got that one to run. And that one works fine now. So let me see what else I want to do. I got these from, and I'm going to put this attachment in your folder, in your Blackboard. Hey, Courtney Hooker, how you doing? Good to see everybody. I'm going to copy over a couple more. All I'm doing is cutting and pasting this stuff from this. And Courtney's in that class, so this is something that she's worked with some of these programs. I don't know if she's worked with all of them. Let's go in here and get kind of a clever one. Well, let's do this. Let's do the one that is too long. I hate to type. If I can copy, I'm going to copy. Let's do the one that is a little longer. And so yeah, let's just copy this application and see if we can make it work. Okay. And this will be a good exercise for you. And then you're going to have to explain to me what's going on with this. What's going on with this program? And I think I'm just going to call it desktop. That's what it's called. Real easy to get lost. Is that the end of it? Yeah, that's the end of it. Desktop. Now I may have a problem because I'm looking at two different views of my Dropbox folder. So I don't know how long it's going to take. I've got workarounds for this though. I got workarounds. Got workarounds for everything. Ah, it did it. Okay, that didn't take long. I mean, it's, you know, it's text, so shouldn't take very long. Now I'm going to copy that one over. Again, send to host. Browse. 390 Labs Rex Desktop. That's what it's called on the PC side, desktop.txt. On the Rex side, on the VM side, I want to call it desktop exec. It's an exec file. A file list. Make sure it's here. Uh-oh. Or you can do file L. Let's look at desktop. So this is a full application, right? And it does some things. And yeah, I want you to run this, and I want you to run the output of it. And again, in Rex, case doesn't make any difference. Display current date and time. Okay. Add two numbers. I didn't mean to quit the program. Let's see what the third thing is. Oh, yeah, that's all it is. So it's a full-blown application, right? Does some things, and it gives you an idea of the power of Rex. I'm going to pause here and see if any questions have arisen. You can either say them in your microphone or type them, because your next lab is going to be a Rex lab. I know we're running out of time, and if we don't get the Linux one, we don't. I mean, I'm going to try to squeeze it in, but I really want you guys to, because Rex is such a valuable skill, and knowing how to do Rex on VM is such a valuable skill. The demand for VM skills is really going to increase. And I saw a great presentation that I started to tell you about this, but I lost my train of thought, on Linux One deploying containers. Hot, very hot. It can deploy tens of thousands of containers, and containers are these abstractions of virtual machines. We talked about what they were, but we only have brief conversations about them. And that's one of the reasons I want you to touch Linux One, that don't require as many resources as virtual machines, and they're easier to manage. So what people do now is they deploy a container per application. Instead of having a virtual machine and putting several applications on it, they just build a container. That's the application that has that container. And when you want to access that application, you access that container. There don't appear to be, oh, okay, so there's a question. Oh yeah, good to see you too, Courtney. Good to see you too. That's about all. I mean, you know, what I'm gonna have you do is basically, I'm not gonna have you do the file transfer, although feel free to use the video, which will be posted, to do file transfer if you want to, but you're just gonna link but you're gonna have to link to my disk to do the lab. That's gonna be a requirement of the lab. And I'll give you the syntax. And then you're just going to run the code. I'm not, you know, because we have varying programming levels here. So I'm not going to ask anybody to write any original code. But I'm going to ask you to run the code, execute it, display the output, do a screenshot of the output of the code running, and then give me a brief synopsis of what it does, a few words about what the programs do, what the major pieces, what the major modules do. And that's where we are. That's pretty much all I wanted to show you tonight was the Rex code, and I got to get the other programs working. But that's what we're going to be doing. So I will have that lab posted by Sunday. So you got a lab due Sunday, you got a lab due a week from Sunday. This lab will do after that. I realize we're running out of time, but may double up. But just trying to keep you guys having something to do to finish up the semester. But if you can get your way around VM, and I'm debating, and so I guess I can take input from you guys, given what we're doing. So there's a variety of things we can do, right? I want you to do some more Rex, but if you want a lab about Ubuntu to build a LAMP server, because you built a LAMP server already with Fedora, but if you want to build a LAMP server for a lab in Ubuntu, just let me know. If you want to do some more Ubuntu, if you want me to cut the Rex stuff short after the next Rex lab and just move right to Linux 1, we can do that. So I'll take input from you guys about where, given the limited amount of time that we have left in the semester, really what you want, to have what you want to touch, what you want to, because all of it's valuable. And I can tell you that the Rex pieces that I'm going to have you do, that is essential. I need you to do that. But other than that, we really need to let you guys decide where you feel the biggest bang for your buck is. Because from a value standpoint, it's all valuable. Any questions or comments before we adjourn? Okay, it's great to be with everybody. I'll put some work out there for you guys to do. Hang in there. See you next time.